What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some strange news concerning Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Get this. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. accuses father of abuse, calls him trash. Wow. Barely into the new year, former boxer Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. has thrusted himself back into the tabloid limelight. In a series of vitriolic videos posted on his social media, the son of the Mexican legend Julio Cesar Chavez castrated his father, calling him trash, and asked him to be put in jail. Chavez Jr., who briefly held the WBC middleweight title, seems to take issue with his father. Recent December 31st post on X, formerly Twitter, in which he expressed hope that his son would stop talking so much nonsense. In the videos, Chavez Jr., who has reportedly struggled with drug addictions in the past few years, also accused his father of involuntarily confining him to a treatment center and keeping him kidnapped for 3 years. Chavez Jr. did not stop there. He also claimed that his father beat his mother, Amelia Carrasco, throughout their union, and that Chavez Jr.'s own life was also at risk. He said, "My father tore my mother to pieces. He beat her. He humiliated her. She is traumatized. She can no longer do anything," Chavez said. "She was damaged for the rest of her life by the same guy who is damaging me, a effing bully who says he wants to help me." He said, I have lived it firsthand with my sons, Julio and Omar," Chavez Sr. said. "Unfortunately, even though they saw all my stumbles and they saw all my drug addiction, it seems that they followed my behavior, and for me, it has been extremely complicated and difficult because I know what it's like to be locked up." Okay, let me counterpunch. We have, and this is the bad thing about Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. and Jr. Senior has a real true boxing legacy. Junior has another legacy that is not famous. It's infamous. It's drug addiction. That's what he has. Look, no judgment. Because people have problems. People go through their things. I think this is what I feel about Junior. I feel Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., when he was fighting, he lived up his father's namesake. He got opportunities that he wouldn't have got if it wasn't for his father. We've seen him struggle himself with drug addiction. Okay, he can blame that on his father all he wants, but more than likely, see, what you go through and what you see growing up, a lot of times, if you're so adamant or against it, you do the opposite of what your father did. See, Chavez Jr. is supposed to have been better than his father. Let's look at it in another way, okay? Let's take another son and father. Floyd Money Mayweather Jr. and Floyd Mayweather Sr. Floyd Mayweather Sr., he sold drugs, he did drugs, he went to prison, right? Okay, he got in there, he was in there with the best, okay? He's seen his mother on drugs, he's seen a lot of stuff. What did Floyd Money Mayweather Jr. do, though? He don't drink, he don't smoke, he doesn't do, and is not involved with any of that shit. Why? Because he went through it, and he made up his mind at a young age that I'm not going to do that because I've already seen that. So, based on the example of how you handle shit versus how you don't, Chavez didn't handle it the way he's supposed to. Okay? Because you get drunk, wasted, and allow some prostitute to take your damn check, you can't blame your father for that. You can't blame your father for testing positive for marijuana and stuff when you got the shit boxed out of you by Sergio Martinez. You can't blame your father for that. You can't say, "Oh, he's a bully because he confined me into a treatment center." Hey, jackass, If you're in a treatment center, you're supposed to be confined. It's against and for your own better health, okay, and your well-being. That's what it's for. Not for you to complain about it. Because when I read that rather, I thought to myself, oh wow, what an entitled child. This is what I'm saying from Julio Cesar Chavez. A whole full example of entitlement. It happens to a lot of these kids that grow up with everything, these kids that grow up not knowing what it's like to be without. He can say, this is another Tariq here. That's all he is, a fucking Tariq. He's the kind of guy that, oh, I hate my father all of a sudden, but your father gave you everything. He gave you your name. He gave you a skill. He gave you a trade. He gave you a legacy. He gave you a future. You know what I mean? And now you have the nerve at all these years to talk about he's an effing bully and he should go to jail. I think someone should drug test that man ASAP en este momento, right now. Because I think he's on drugs. I think he's on something saying that type of stuff to the public. You know what I mean? And their people understand something about Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. That wasn't a big secret with Julio Sr. Chavez Sr. It's public knowledge that the man had problems. It's public knowledge that he went through shit. It's public knowledge that the things that he's not proud of while he was going through the shit with his family. So I advise anybody that has any type of drug abuse or anything, don't bring it around your family. Don't bring it around your kids. Don't do that. But it happened. Okay? And see, this is my counterpunch to Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Mr. Newly crowned entitled guy here. Where the fuck was this plea? Where the fuck was this or this complaint in 2012, 13, 14 years ago? Where was it? Where was this then? Okay? When you were fighting, where was it then? Mi papá es de leyenda, mi papá, Julio Cesar Chavez, mi papá. What happened? You're calling your dad, like I said in Spanish, you're calling your dad the legend and everything else. What happened to this now? Why are you just saying this now? Why? Because you're broke? You spent all your money on coke? Bars. What's the deal with you? You know what I mean? There has to be something else with this. Why? Your dad won't give you no more money because you blew yours? What's the deal with that? You know, like Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., I think there's other reasons for it. I mean, I think it's drug use. I think he's lashing out. Now he's talking about his mom. You could have been talking about your mom the last 14 years when you were fighting. You know what I mean? Why wasn't that a topic of conversation? Why is it a topic of conversation now? I don't understand that. So make me understand what's going on with him now saying, oh, his father's trash. Okay, your father's trash, but you ain't? Mr. fucking quitter. He quit in the Danny Jacobs fight. And that was when Danny Jacobs was on the downcline. He was on the decline. He was on the no se dive. Shout out to Virgin. He was on the no se dive. Right? So if you were a particular person that cared for your legacy or cared for your family, for one, you wouldn't put this out there like that. So obviously, you've got to the point, you've got so entitled and you've got so upset for whatever reason. Now you're deciding to trash your father's name because of whatever that reason was, and you think it's warranted. Absolutely not. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., you need to fucking be ashamed of yourself. Get yourself together. Get confined to another treatment, okay, facility, and dry out, sober up, and get your life together. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. trashing his father. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.